Hi, my name's Amelia Sarkar. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. Today I'm going to be analyzing the painting Spring by Winslow Homer. This painting can be found in Bentonville, Arkansas at Crystal Bridges Museum. However, because of the fragility of the paper that this painting was done on, it can only be viewed for special months out of the year. Spring was created in 1878 using the medium of watercolor combined with pencil on paper. The image painted is extremely naturalistic. The faces of the children include realistic and minute details, and there's proper shading where the tree shade reached the children. The folds in the children's clothes and the earthy tones in the landscape also contribute to a naturalistic theme, making the image appear as it might have in real life. The mountains are foreshortened, and the children are centered and at the forefront, which shows that they were the subject of the painting. Homer was known to excel at the painting of individuals, particularly children. He also enjoyed painting landscapes and the outdoors, which can be seen in The Cotton Pickers, which is found at Crystal Bridges, and Boys in a Pasture. The subjects of his paintings were often those that he'd come across while working as a painter in towns neighboring his home in New York. Homer's work with watercolor marked a turning point in his career, which might have given his beginning watercolor pieces such as Spring some sentimental value. This work allowed him to stop working as a freelance painter and begin working as a self-managed artist. When analyzing this painting, one might take a feminist approach. Homer included both the boy and the girl in completing the task. And not only that, but Homer has put the tool in the young girl's hand and not the boy's, despite the fact that they're the same size. The boy is standing to the side, not even helping. By allowing the female to take action in manual labor and not the male, Homer defies typical gender stereotypes of the late 1800s, which is when this painting was done. The boy is a faceless individual, turned away from the front of the scene, but the girl's face is shown in its entirety. This makes the female seem more central or more important, while the male loses individuality and fades into the background. This art piece, along with many of Homer's other art pieces, belongs under the classification of Impressionism with some realism influence. Realism, which often draws from observation and personal experience, was introduced in the 19th century and includes naturalistic elements of nature in human society. Naturalistic elements, which were common in eras such as the Greek Hellenistic period, emphasize the reality of life in art. Homer's constant use of the natural world and the human world in coincidence corresponds well with the realism ideals. Social change also influenced the realism movement, but may not have been quite as prevalent in Homer's works. With this exception in mind, one could say that Spring mostly incorporates the artistic movement of Impressionism. Impressionism, which evolved shortly after realism, incorporated things such as leisure activities and entertainment into the realism concept of landscape. The children's apple-picking activity amidst the mountainous backdrop allows Spring to fit into this artistic category as well. Impressionism also correlates heavily with the use of color and light in different variations to depict weather and time. This is adamant in Spring not only in direct relation to its title, but also in the shadows cast by the tree and the bright green of the grass brightened by the sunlight. Impressionistic paintings such as The Boating Party by Cassatt or Moulin de la Galette by Renoir exhibits these similar aspects. They include nature and experience of daily activities by individuals in a society. The non-existent outlining of the apparent use of foreshortening gives the three paintings a somewhat unified structure. These pieces may have heavily influenced some of Homer's work. Romanticism, which greatly emphasized the harmony between humans and the natural world, might have also been an influence in Homer's style of painting. Calm landscapes similar to Spring were common with artists such as John Constable, and it was during this period that the use of watercolor, powdered pigments mixed with water, became more common in Europe. For the most part, I chose this piece because I love the medium of watercolor. I love the way the colors tend to run together or build up in certain areas, causing slight imperfections. Even in Homer's naturalistic paintings, outlines are blurred and specks of white peek through the paper beneath, as shown in Spring. I hope you've enjoyed learning about this art piece as much as I have. Thank you for watching. Bye.